iPhone 7 really is a first. Yes, it has its flaws, but at the same time, in some ways it's the most intelligent smartphone on the planet. It can do some truly incredible things. In this video, I'm going to show you as many of those as I can. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So, let's get cracking. It's taken them a while, but Apple has finally introduced Smart Wake. So turning it on in the settings will mean that as soon as you lift the phone up, the screen will turn on. Apple made a lot of noise about the iPhone 7's audio. And it's true, the speakers are fantastic. The sound experience you get from this phone is one of the best. But what they didn't mention is that the music software has also become more intelligent. So there's an option which, once ticked, will automatically delete songs that you've just not played in a while to free up your storage. Swiping right from the lock screen instantly opens up your camera app. So with iOS 10, Apple is putting much more emphasis on 3D touch, and it works also on the iPhone 7. To start with, using 3D touch on something like the settings bar will open up a quick toggles option where you can skip straight to battery, Wi-Fi settings and more. Instead of needing to open up a separate app, simply pushing into the flashlight button, you can decide how bright you want it. You can use it on the Notes app to go straight to a checklist, or the camera app to go straight to a certain mode of shooting. So it's amazing how many people didn't know that you can now also swipe left from the lock screen. And you've got widgets. Apple has finally introduced weather widgets, stock widgets, and all this sort of thing, and you can customize your feed the way you want to see it. So for those of you who didn't know, the iPhone has a feature called Live Photo, which doesn't just capture one frame, but a small video. And iOS 10 on the iPhone 7 is the first time you can now customize those. It's nothing revolutionary, but we've got the crops and we can apply filters. But I'm going to tell you how to take this a step further, because Google has announced an app called Motion Stills, and this allows you to thread them together to add stabilization, to turn them into GIFs or even export them as movies. So to be honest, the next one is about due from Apple, but you can finally reply to messages from your lock screen. Again, using the force touch, just hold down on a message and type away. So possibly the bane of every smartphone user is inbuilt software. We hate it. But with the iPhone 7, you can actually remove it. Now this doesn't quite delete it, but what it does is hides it from the home screen. And with no notifications on it, it might as well not exist. Now the next one is one of my favorites. iOS 10 automatically detects when you're on a mailing list. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but I'd say probably about 80% of the time, and within iOS, you can unsubscribe. So all these spammy emails you keep getting, it pretty much sorts them out for you. The next one is a pretty minor one, but you now have the option to close all tabs at once when you're browsing. So as well as all the other stuff it does, the iPhone 7 now also doubles as a magnifier. If you turn it on in settings, then every time you triple tap the home button, it'll just zoom in on something. So if you want to read a faraway sign or just some very small text, it's pretty handy, and the resolution is high enough for it to actually be much better than the human eye. So with this smartphone, Apple is kind of trying to make the phone more fun to use. And one of my favorite features is the ability to turn the phone sideways when you're texting and handwrite your own message. To make one thing clear, the camera on the iPhone 7 is amazing. But as well as all the hardware improvements, Apple's now also allowing you to take RAW photos. So RAW is an uncompressed file format. So if you're willing to take the hit of the extra sort of storage it's going to take up, you can get better quality images. One of my personal favorites is if you've got multiple things downloading, simply force touching on one of them and clicking prioritize will make that one go first. So I was talking earlier about how the new iPhone is so much more intelligent, and this is probably one of the best ways to demonstrate it. If you actually type things into the album, things like trees, it'll find relevant photos. This works through SIRI as well, so you could tell it, I want to see photos with grass in, and it can do that. You can tell it, I want to see photos taken in the last hour, and it will show you, and it works pretty much 100% of the time. It can even recognize faces and integrate that into your searches. So the next one is not really an iPhone 7 specific tip, but it's just something I highly recommend you do. Going into your settings, you can turn on grid lines, and that'll allow you to frame your shot much better. Using the rule of 2/3, you can create more interesting photos by positioning objects in the sort of 2/3 segment of the photo. So guys, that's it from me for now. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then a subscribe would be really appreciated. And with that being said, I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.